Hey everyone, Eric here. Thanks for tuning in. Having trouble saving money? Worried about what is going to happen next to the economy? After all, the gross domestic product of the United States fell nearly 33% in Q2. This is no surprise considering that businesses were forced to shut down as a result of the illness, and unemployment rates rose to over 14%. I can only imagine some of the financial and emotional hardships that a lot of you may be facing during this incredibly difficult year. Due to these dire economic circumstances, it would make sense that a lot of you may be putting away money just in case you want to invest when the market is low, or if you experience any financial hardships. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 of my tips and tricks that I've been using since high school to save money. And as always, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already to join the Millipreneur community. Smash that like button, it makes Lola happy. Also, make sure to turn on notifications so that you're alerted every time that I post a new video. And if you're feeling especially generous today, feel free to comment below some of the tricks that you may have used in the past to save up your own money. Having said that, let's get started. The first thing that you can do to avoid spending money and start saving it is to wear minimalistic clothing and avoid designer brands. I actually got this shirt for free when I went to a convention back in Denver in October for my company. The material is really nice. Listen, why did humans start wearing clothes in the first place? Clothing was first used to protect us from the elements over 170,000 years ago. Now look, I'm not here to give you a history lesson, but for some reason, every year it seems that clothes become more and more revealing while they get more expensive in the process, which doesn't really make sense to me. Why are you paying more money for less clothes? I don't get it. Now I understand that clothes have now taken on social purposes, but if you're hanging out with a bunch of people that are going to judge you for the brands that you wear, I would probably recommend getting new friends. Seriously. I've said this in previous videos, but I wear the same clothes every single day. Not literally, I wash my clothes. I have a bunch of shirts and pants that are nearly identical to each other in my closet. There are only so many good decisions that you can make in a day, and I usually don't waste one of them on what I'm going to wear unless it's for a special occasion or if I'm trying to dress to impress. This is especially relevant for those of you who are under the age of 30 and society has given a pass to look bummy. So put the $1,000 pair of Yeezys that you're going to purchase this year on hold and instead go to TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, or if you're feeling especially generous, go ahead and go to Nordstrom Rack, I guess. I promise you, those shoes are not going to allow you to walk on water. The next tip that I'd recommend to save money is to use cashback credit cards. Now I know what you're thinking.
But Eric, I thought that you said that you were going to be saving us money and now you're telling us to spend it.
Now hold your horses. You gotta eat, don't you? And you're probably going to spend some money on some entertainment. I use my Saver One credit card by Capital One to do just that. When you use your credit card instead of using a debit card or cash, you're actually going to be saving more money on the purchases that you're going to make anyway. I earn 3% cash back on all dining and entertainment, and I mean all entertainment. I also get 2% cash back on all my groceries, as well as 1% cash back on everything else. Plus, if you were to spend $500 within the first 3 months of actually owning the credit card, Capital One's going to go ahead and give you back $150 as a sign-up bonus. This is why I almost never use debit cards or cash, because I could be easily making money back by using my credit card. However, this particular credit card requires about a 700 credit score, so I'm going to go ahead and link the video on how to build your credit above. That video will elaborate on some of the tips and tricks that you can use to build your credit quickly and efficiently. Next up, if you are going to need to get to work but no longer want to hop on the train or take an Uber, then I would highly recommend buying a used car that is high on fuel efficiency. Never, and I mean never, buy a new car. As soon as you drive that new car off the lot, it loses between 20 to 30% of its value. Not only that, but if you needed to take out a loan to finance that vehicle, you're also going to have to pay interest on that loan. So think about it, you just lost 30% of your car's value within 1 year of owning it, and you've been paying interest on your loan the whole year as well. This is probably one of the worst investments that you can make, especially if you're just getting out of college. I've seen so many people buy these really nice cars right out of college, and they end up getting in loads of debt on top of the debt that they already have from their student loans. Trust me, it is not worth it to impress your friends, just don't do it. Instead, maybe consider shopping around for a used Honda, Toyota, or any brand that makes cars that are fuel efficient that are made to last long. I pay about $23 to fill up my Honda's tank, and it makes me a real happy camper. I also use my Safeway gas rewards points every now and then, and one time I only had to pay $1.50 per gallon. I've never had any issues with my car, and even if it were to break down, the parts for an old Honda are very cheap in comparison to some European brands. This point is incredibly important, so don't go and blow a bunch of money on a new car. Don't do it. The next tip that I definitely need to practice more is to stop going out to eat. Oh my god, I spend so much money on food. In college, I would literally go to my favorite sandwich spot, Kinder's, like 3 to 4 times a week, and it got to the point where the people that were making my sandwiches knew what I was going to order before I even went into the restaurant. It was at that moment I knew I had a problem. I really needed to get over my addiction of that famous ball tip sandwich with hot barbecue sauce on sourdough toasted with grilled onions. I'm not drooling. But in all seriousness, you can save up so much more money by just making your food at home. I will admit that I have asked my grandma to help me with my meal prep in the past. Okay, just kidding, she actually made everything. I'm not the best cook, okay? My roommates were not very happy when I showed up and I had 40 frozen burritos that took up a pretty impressive amount of space in the freezer. But I didn't care, it saved me a bunch of money and I recommend you doing it too. The next tip should be pretty obvious, but it's to have a spreadsheet of of your income and all of your expenses. You ideally want to update this a couple times per month. Definitely track everything that you spend money on and make sure to keep the receipts, especially if you're a business owner, since you'll be able to write those off on your taxes. I've mentioned this in previous videos also, but I actually like using mint.com to track my net worth. This allows me to see my current assets, liabilities, check my credit score, set investment goals, and even set a budget for myself regarding how much money I'm allowed to spend on entertainment, dining, or anything else that I don't want to overindulge in that particular month. Spending money actually really hurts my soul, so I avoid doing it as much as possible. You may think I'm cheap, but I'm only really cheap with myself. When it comes to spending on others, I'm more likely to do so. The next tip really only applies to those of you who have aspirations of obtaining a bachelor's degree, and it is to go to community college to obtain your associates for the first 2 years. Community college is so much more affordable than going to a state school, UC, or any private school. In California, the average cost for tuition at a community college is about $1,700 per year. State colleges, however, charge about $15,000 per year. UCs cost roughly $17,000 annually, and private school tuition is more than double what it would cost to attend a state college at about $33,000 per year. This figure does not even include room and board, which most of you will have to pay if you are going away for college. And I get it, a lot of you want to have the chance to live that college experience, but I can guarantee you it's not going to be worth it if you are suffering from the mountains of debt after you graduate. And I also understand that in high school, a lot of times it's not seen as cool to aspire to go to a community college, but the reality is it's just going to save you so much money in the long run. I completed my associate's degree at a community college in 2 years, and I actually got a couple of scholarships in the process. This saved me a ton of dough. I've seen so many of my colleagues decide to change their majors within the first year of their college experience because they don't really necessarily know what they want yet. Unfortunately, this is not something that you're going to want to do when you're attending a more expensive university because that might prolong your graduation. I think community college is a great place to start your higher education experience if you want to save yourself and your family a lot of money. Plus, you can't even really go out right now because of the virus, so I would just use this time to save up as much money as you can. The next thing that you should do to save up some additional cash is to cancel all memberships or subscriptions that you don't use or that you don't really need anymore. I was so proud of myself when I finally canceled my PlayStation subscription. Playing video games at the rate that I was doing made it very difficult to be productive. I was literally max prestige on every Call of Duty game that I played. You won't 1v1 me on Rust. Canceling this one particular subscription actually killed 2 birds with 1 stone because I was able to save up money and then also have more time to focus on my career or my personal development. And then came out Warzone. It's free. So make sure to go through all your subscriptions and memberships and make sure that you cancel the ones that you are no longer using. It'll free up some wasted time and you'll save money in the process. The next tip that I recommend that you practice might make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's to negotiate prices at stores. It is easy to pick up a product, see the price tag, and be like, well, that must be what it's worth. You probably never thought it possible that you could actually go up to the cashier and negotiate that price. In order to increase the likelihood of your success to negotiate the price down, I would highly recommend just doing a quick Google search on that particular product to see what other vendors are selling it for. If you found the product cheaper anywhere across the web, then congratulations, you already have leverage against that cashier. For example, the other day I needed to go to the store in order to buy 4 iPhone chargers for myself and for my family. I checked the price for one individual chargers and it said that it costed $20. A quick Google search showed me that a few places were selling the same product for $15. So I just walked up to the cashier and I said, hey, I found this product for $5 cheaper online. Could you price match? 5 minutes later, I walked out with an additional $20 in my pocket. And to be completely honest with you, if he hadn't price matched, I probably would have just gone to the other store and bought it for cheaper. Companies really do not want to miss out on these sales, especially not right now due to the current economic situation. This negotiation tactic can also be applied to your career. Don't be afraid to ask for more money than the company is offering you. I understand that the salary conversation is not an easy one for a lot of people and it may make you feel relatively uncomfortable, but I can assure you it's very important that you ask for what you're worth. The key is to have leverage over your hiring manager. Figure out how you can provide that company value and make sure to communicate that effectively. Make them feel like they really don't want to lose you. Do your research online to see what other people are making in that same role. And when you do eventually get hired, make sure to be the best at what you do. This will make you even more valuable to the company, essentially indispensable, and also increase your earning potential for the long run. So make sure that your negotiation skills are on point because the reality is, whether you like it or not, negotiations are a daily part of your life. Now, for those of you who like to party and go out for drinks, this next tip is for you. Now, I understand that some of you ladies may have it easy when a guy comes up to you and offers to buy you a drink. Men, however, do not have that same luxury, but if you've ever been approached by a woman and they offered to buy you a drink, then call me, I want to hear your secrets. Now, I understand that bars and clubs aren't necessarily open right now, but when they do finally reopen, don't buy your drinks there. You can save up so much money by just making some frescas at home as opposed to spending $10 on a Long Island. Plus, playing drinking games with friends was always much more exciting to me than going out to the bar where you can barely hear each other. You can save up even more money by having that one friend that doesn't drink that is willing to drive you downtown. Now, I'm not advocating for you to go out and spend money, but if you do need the occasional night out, then I would recommend doing this as it's the most cost-efficient way to do so. And last but not least, make regular donations to charity. This tip is awesome because not only are you able to help a family in need, you're also going to get a tax break for doing so. Now, I'm definitely not advocating for you to just go donate to charity for the tax implications, but what I will say is that if you have a lot of stuff that you no longer need or that you no longer use, go ahead and donate that, keep the receipt, and then you'll be able to get a tax write-off come tax season. For example, let's say that you made $50,000 but donated $1,000 to charity, you'll then be taxed on $49,000 as opposed to $50,000. This will likely result in a larger tax refund, but make sure to consult with the CPA if you have any questions. And that's it. I hope I provided you with some valuable tips that will help you save some serious cash. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel to join the Millipreneur community. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to my blog at themillipreneur.com, and also give me a follow on Instagram at Eric_Anthony_Lopez. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.